Hey all, welcome to Homestead. We're on part 2 of this build for the ramps underneath Nana's carport. So last time obviously we got that first platform made. Now we're going to work on the second, maybe the third platforms today. This platform is not going to be as big. It's obviously very close. We're only really going down one step in terms of elevation. And a step is typically defined by anywhere between 6 inches on the very, very small side up to about 8 to 9 inches on the very large side. Obviously, we want to be on the short side because this is a ramp. We want a nice gentle slope. So we're not using typical rise over run calculations here. Well, we are, but we're not using ADA standards. We're getting close to that, but working within constraints. So basically we got to go about between 6 and 7 inches from this elevation to whatever this elevation is. Okay, so it's going to be a very short ramp, more like a step, but we're still going to have it be a ramp part. So this platform is going to be very close to this one, only maybe a foot separation between the two, if that. The trick is I want to make this dimension, okay, this width, be wide enough to go up here, and I want to make this dimension wide enough so that it stays underneath the carport, but is wide enough to comfortably walk down. Now, typically on an ADA compliant wheelchair ramp, you would be making it for a wheelchair, and so your width would need to be wide enough to accommodate not just the person, but obviously the wheelchair itself, with a little bit of margin on each side. Again, we're not building to that standard, to that specification with this. In reality, a slightly narrower, because Grandpa is not a big man, he's pretty slender. The narrower actually kind of works in our favor because I can put handrails on each side and he can walk up. He's not using a walker, he does it himself. He does have a cane that he uses occasionally, but if he has good handrails to just walk himself up, a narrower ramp actually works in our favor in that instance. So I'm gonna go between 24 and 30 inches wide. That's a pretty good, of course I don't have my ruler right here or my tape. That's a pretty good width for being able to walk comfortably, just one person going down a path. So I say 24 to 30 because I haven't really measured and adjusted yet. That's what I'm going to start with this morning, is kind of figuring out what is my dimension going to be for that platform, and then we'll get cutting and anchoring and doing everything good. So hope you enjoy the ride. Hope I make it interesting for you, and I hope I give you some ideas on how to do your project, whatever your project may be. So one of the things that I gotta take into account is where the ramp starts in relationship to this corner. For safety reasons, it would be ideal if the slope right down doesn't start until we get to this corner, so that there's no overlap. So this corner can't catch. Now, there's a number of ways I can make that safer by putting a railing so that you can't catch that corner or anything. And the reason that I'd want it further back is, one, save material. Two, the distance to this back post in this corner here along this edge is about 43 inches. And so that's about 13 inches more material to make that ramp if I were to make it come straight to that corner. The other thing, and this is really the most important factor, is that the longer space I have from here to there, the gentler that ramp can be, because I have a longer run to rise ratio. And so the angle of that slope can out. So it's finessing, right? It's saying, okay, well, if I get an inch here or a couple inches there, am I saving material? Am I wasting material? Am I maximizing my dimensions? So now some of this stuff can all be thought through. And if I made everything perfectly square and laid out everything, I could calculate all this down to this, quarter inch to the 1/8 inch and cut and just put it in place. Reality is I'm A, not that proficient at it, and B, reality of building on site always causes you to make slight variances at this level. So I prefer to build on site and make my adjustments on site, and that's what I'm doing. So that's why I'm taking a lot extra time making my measurements here. So I settled on 30 by 36 inches. That's going to give me enough width, because that'll be essentially the width of the ramp coming down this way, 30 inches, which is, again, like that. Okay, so here, there, that's a good size for a person to walk down. So that's coming this way, and 36 inches in depth, so that when I get up, or he gets up on this ramp, okay, he's going to be stepping up, and this is where he levels out, turns, and goes up, give or take. My skull cap is a Bluetooth speaker, and it ran out of battery. Plus, it's warm enough now that I don't really need the ear protection, so I had to go swap it out, plug it back in. Okay, I gotta go do a chore for a neighbor to let their horse out. So I'll be right back, but you're just gonna go to the next part now. And we're back. It's warmed up a bit actually, the sun and everything. Don't feel like I need the hoodie to be working out here, so gonna get back at it. No surprises, nothing missed. Just gonna go right back to it. So if you don't want to take a whole lot of time with your spacing, 3/16 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, your average screw head is going to be about 5/8 of an inch. Now it's a little wide for a gap, but if you use that just as a gauge to get her close and overlap a little bit, it's going to be good enough for the deck spacing, most likely. Just if you want to do that. If you want to save a little bit of time, not sit there with the tape measure, try to get it exactly right or anything like that. Okay, so that platform is done. I'm gonna take a short break and then go work on this third one, this third and last platform, and then I can work on the ramps themselves. So I'm gonna take a quick break and get back at it. We are getting late in the day, late in the afternoon, sun, but we'll go until we can't. All right. Hey, so I am pivoting at this point, leaving the ramp project for a minute because I looked at the weather forecast and we're supposed to have some pretty decent rain the next 24 hours. And before that hits, I really want to get the leaves in the garden. And I think I've explained this before, but let me just bring you over here real quick and show you what I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to really film it because it's going to be me blowing leaves around into the garden. I'll maybe explain it a little bit better or show you a little bit more when put the tarp on. But the general idea is we've got the in-ground garden area over here, and I've scoured it and gotten all the vegetation off of it. And now I've got all these tons of oak leaves and everything that are going to mulch and decompose and add nutrients back to the soil, and I want that to be over here. So I'm going to be working on getting all those leaves over there onto here, and then when it is, I'm going to let the rain hit on tomorrow, do some cleanup, and then cover it with a tarp. Cover the whole thing with tarps, and then that way it can kill all the weeds, suppress all the weeds, let all of that dead leaf material decompose, add nutrients back to the soil, and give us a really good rich start for our spring planting. So that's what I'm going to do now. I just wanted to say I don't know if I'm going to get back to that other part, but we'll find out. You'll find out now. Okay, so obviously I didn't get back to it yesterday. I got all the leaves blown into the garden area, which was what I wanted to get done. Ran out of light and just never got back over. It's raining today. It's also football Saturday, and there's a lot of good games on, so I'm not going to do a whole lot over here today. Besides that, with the rain, I'm kind of in cramped quarters here, trying to keep things dry. But we're going to go ahead and try and get this third platform built, or at least as much of it built as possible. It'll be right there. So there's the platform that we built yesterday, step down, and now we're going to have the ramp come down and go to this third platform. So, let me get my tripod. All right, so now this is where cheat. Not really. I used AI, Grok, the X app, artificial intelligence app, to help me calculate how high this platform needs to be. And what I did was I said, okay, I'm starting from a ramp or from a platform that's that high. And I'm going down about, going down about 9.5 feet from the end of that platform to the top of this one. And then you're gonna go down about another 11 feet, I think I said, to the grade. How high does this platform need to be? And it did all the calculations for me and gave me a height of 17 inches, which makes sense. So I'm going to double check my measurements there, and then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to see what 17 inches looks like over here, and I'm going to build to that. And then that'll give me a nice, easy slope down to this platform and then down to the ground. So, gonna get started. I'm gonna get my line level. Just in case none of you have seen these before, this is a line level. It's a little level bubble, and it's got these little hooks on here, you can put on a string, and you can use that string to go over longer distances to get a level. They're good tools, really cheap. You can get them at Lowe's, Harbor Freight, just about any place that has construction measurement tools. So that just gives me a good idea on this post, on that post, that platform. And then I can measure my measurements on that post, down from there to get where my platform height should be relative to that post. And then I'll do just like I've been doing with the other ones, build everything level off of that. What that does is it helps me overcome my grade variances down here, okay? Because I've got slope that goes from there down and a little bit from there down. And so my grade is not perfectly level. So I got to make everything relative to the top going down, if that makes sense. And then I'll make my posts different lengths to be level with that mark. I think you get it. Now I'm going to measure 13 inches down from that mark to give me the 17 foot or the 17 inch height, and that's to the top of the deck. So then I got to go another inch down for the top of the joist. Got my finger pretty good on that tape measure. As I was trying to get it out, it slid right across here in perfect cut. And just, I know it looks all wrapped up and everything, it's just it needs good pressure on there. So I'm gonna make do with what I got. Okay, that's all I'm gonna get done today, for two reasons. One is it's getting close to game time for the game I really want to watch, and I'm out of materials to finish this. I've got three pieces of the deck material, and I need at least 5 to do this. I could put in that, I probably will put in that last brace before calling it, but that's pretty much all I've got today. I could get started on framing the ramp, but like I said, I don't want to go anymore today. I'm gonna call it good. The rain, dampness, and everything, just call it. So I'm gonna throw that in there, and then go to the next part of the video now. Hey, Hall. So I messed up and didn't make a sign off for this part of the video because I honestly didn't know that this is where I was going to make the part end for this part of the video. So that's what I'm doing now from my hotel room out on the road. So God be with you all in all that you do. And remember, keep the faith and keep up the fight. God bless. Bye-bye.